have a guest here today. Welcome to Hello, folks. We're back at the Local Lens, and it's our second episode of Blue Moon Estate Sales and the exciting work that Danielle does with her husband, Kevin Wozniewski. But today we're going to bring in some special guests, and one in particular is one that dealt with Danielle and Kevin in regards to the estate sale and made it all work for them. We have Susan sitting here with us and her husband, Joe. And they're from north of the Poconos. And they came a long way for this, but we're excited to talk to them today about this experience that they had with Blue Moon Estates. So I'm going to start with Danielle and kind of give me the backstory in regards to how you met these two folks. I know there was kind of a situation where their parents or Joe's parents had to be put into a memory care facility. And I'm very familiar with that business. I was in that business, and it's a shame, but it happens, when people get older. We understand all that. But for then, the son and daughter-in-law now have to kind of, work things out. So Danielle, tell us how you met these two folks, and then I'll kind of get into some Q&A in regards to the process and how you guys did such a great job with the estate sale.
Absolutely. So I got a call, it was probably early 25 last year.
Yes.
From Susan. Susan was referred to me from an elder care attorney that I had been working with.
Yep.
And Susan reached out to me and explained her situation about how they needed assistance with an estate sale. Joe's mom and dad had to move into memory care facility, and they just were at a loss. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know where to begin. So I went out and I met with them both at the home, and we did a walkthrough of everything, and we determined together that there was enough to move forward with an estate sale. And we did an estate sale about 2 months after that time.
So the elder care law lawyer knew who these folks were. He then referred you to them in regards to contact. So what's the time frame of all this happening? Because I know that stuff can happen pretty quick when you have to put your folks into a center, and then all of a sudden you have to deal with the estate. And that's a arduous process, and it's an emotional process, and we understand that. So what's the time frame from the time you spoke to Danielle or got referred to Danielle, then Danielle came in actually and then started the process? How quick was that?
It's within a week or two.
Wow.
Yeah. We
That's
met
awesome.
the lawyer in October of 24.
Okay.
The end of October, and our first goal was to have our parents someplace safe.
Yes.
And someplace that they were well taken care of. So that process took about a month to 6 weeks. We moved them in beginning of December, middle of December.
Okay.
So that step was taken care of. Then it was, what do we do now? And the next thing was we had to start downsizing all their belongings in their home. And how do we do that? Well, then it's Christmas. And then, like Danielle said, we called her beginning of January. And I think we met with her by the end of January. The estate sale was actually April 10th and 11th, or 11th and 12th of 2025.
Yeah.
Wow. What were you thinking back then when you had this process that you had to deal with? Like, I know it's an enormous responsibility. I mean, some of these things are cherished family heirlooms, et cetera, et cetera. Like, before you even met Danielle, before you even talked to Blue Moon Estates, what were you thinking? Were you nervous? Was it like, a crazy time at that moment, or
My mother was a collector. She was the keeper of the family's treasures.
So I know what that's all about.
It was very overwhelming until Danielle got involved and took that off our shoulders.
Yeah, because that stuff's very personal to you, even though your parent bought it or your parents bought it. I mean, it is still personable to you, and you want to do the right thing. So you reach out to Danielle, and Danielle's great because I think we spoke about this on the first broadcast about the transparency in regards to when you first visit someone, you see all this stuff, and you can't say, wow, this is all great stuff, or you can, but if it's not, you really have to be pretty transparent with them because you don't want to kind of, waste a lot of time. But once you met these folks, and they seem very nice. I mean, I've only met them today. I mean, we spoke a little off camera before, and I think they're very nice. But the bottom line is you initially start this relationship, because it's not just, to me, it doesn't seem like a business transaction. It seems more like a relationship, correct?
It is. It absolutely is. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think we hit it off probably the moment I walked through the door
We did.
and met you guys. The relationship that we built over the course of the time that Christine and the staff and I worked in the home was absolutely amazing.
It was wonderful. And to give Blue Moon another shout out, we received their name, but I did some due diligence at home and looked up other estate companies because I thought, well, I'm not going with just the first one that the lawyer recommended because I don't know anything about this world. Right. So I, went into a little bit of investigation. This was my kind of bailiwick. I did this. Joe was doing so many other things with his parents that needed to be done. And I didn't get a single positive feeling from any other company. And one company never called me back. One said, well, maybe we could do it online. I'm like, you didn't even come look at anything.
Right.
And as you said, in our minds, they had a lot of treasures. She was the keeper of her family's belongings.
Were family heirlooms.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you said something about Danielle being a business relationship. That didn't last long.
Right.
No, she's
It was
my
a family
friend.
relationship after
Yes.
just a couple, 3 days.
Yeah. I kind of felt the same way when I met Danielle. I mean, and, it's kind of the way my nature is. Whenever I'm dealing with anyone, it's really kind of, you have to connect with the people,
Yes.
And there's got to be an emotional connection because this is very emotional. I had to do this with my mom too. And I had to do it almost 2 times because she downsized into an assisted living. Then from assisted living, she then passed away. So we had to kind of get rid of all her things. Well, that's a terrible word. But I didn't know Danielle then, but if I
Right.
did, it would have made the process way more easier because we had to move all this stuff. And it's a long and arduous process. And the fact that these folks at Blue Moon are in this space, and Danielle's perfect for it. She's just a great human being, and
Yes.
she relates to you folks and what the process is and how to kind of remedy it in a way that's appropriate for you, the family, and the folks that are now in memory care that really don't know what's going on, but it's important to them from a legacy standpoint. So that's great. Is there anything else you want to share regarding the experience and like the day-to-day, like her staging home? Like, what was that like? I know all the heirlooms, she probably has a lot of stuff, and maybe there's a before and after, but we didn't capture any of that content. But can you explain it a little bit about that?
Danielle was incredible about sending us videos as she was going through.
Okay.
So she would walk through the house, her or Christine would walk through the house, video things, have us on the phone, FaceTiming and saying, look what we're doing. Do you like
that's
it?
cool.
Do you not like it? She was also very good about saying, because memory care for 2 parents is Bill Gates expensive.
Yes.
So
Oh, yeah.
we wanted to sell as much as we could, but she was very good about saying, take what you need,
Right.
your mementos, and take those out of here.
Yeah.
So we did that also and coordinated that with her and with all our family members. And then it just kept getting more tunneled down till she got it ready.
She
to
made it
display.
manageable. She made it not so overwhelming
Right.
because we've been married 41, 42 years this year, and my mother-in-law still had the cards from my maiden name tucked away in a drawer that I sent them before we were married.
Wow.
And when we opened that drawer, I was like, oh. For us, it was a lot of O's, a lot of wow.
Yeah.
And I don't want to I want to speak to Danielle and Christine's character as well as Blue Moon's. During this process, my father-in-law passed away, and it was unexpected.
Oh, boy.
Danielle was our, I think, my 4th phone call after we called his 2 siblings, his aunt. I called Danielle because it was on a Wednesday and the sale was supposed to start that Friday. But it wasn't because of the sale, it was because I needed to hear Danielle's voice. It was because I needed the support of, what am I going to do?
Yep.
What are we going to do? And she said, we're here, we'll stop, we'll do what you need. What do you need? I went, I don't know. I have to pack my suitcase, we have to get in the car, we have to come there. And she said, okay, then go do that, and we're here. We're going to keep going. We'll talk later today. That's what we did.
That's great.
And her and Christine just became those people you could lean on. Because, through this process, we found a lot of stuff that we also didn't think Mom should have saved. Like, oh, my gosh.
Right.
But it meant something to her, and you want to honor your parents as
Yep.
well as respect them and respect their property and respect the process. But they gave us the space also, like Joe said. We had more photographs to go through and personal items And they said, do it, take your time, do it. And that
They worked
was,
on our schedule.
yeah.
That's awesome.
And,
Or timeline.
and because knowing we were so far away, at one point, Willingboro was very strict with a citation with how much trash we were putting out and that they had to put out. And she called us and said, and I went, okay, all right, I don't know what to do, but I'll do something. She called back an hour later and said, Christine and I have it taken care of. A guy's coming, he's going to take the trash this afternoon.
Wow.
I went, oh, well, how much do we owe you? Tell us, I don't want you to pay for this. She said, Blue Moon has it. We got it. We got you.
Wow. That's
It
awesome.
was above and beyond.
That's great. Yeah, and just in talking with you folks, meeting you for the first time, and just seeing how the process went for you and your relationship with Danielle, it is like family, because you do almost become part of the family temporarily, because now you're dealing with all these personal things.
Yes.
And I'm sure you're having these little like tidbit conversations about, oh, look at what this is, or look what that is, because now you're really getting to learn what these folks are all about.
Exactly.
And their family
Absolutely.
as
Their
well.
history,
So and that's something I never really thought about, but that's important, and I think you're ideal for this business, and talking with these two folks, I think it makes for a very warm process that has to be done, unfortunately, but you make it as easy as possible. And that's what Blue Moon's all about. And kudos to you and you two folks. Thanks for coming up here. We know it's not a short drive for you, but the fact that you guys came here to kind of give this testimonial today for Blue Moon speaks volumes. And we really appreciate your time. We know this is not a normal thing, but thanks a lot. You guys did great, and we appreciate it. And I just want to say another thank you to Danielle for doing what you do.
Thank you.
It's spectacular, and you've
Yes.
made these people very happy, and now you're still part of their family.
We are.
Just like you're part of my
are.
family,
Yes,
Danielle.
absolutely.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming. Thank you.
I've called Danielle to complain about my daughter, my husband, my life, and we share now. She's
do.
my friend now,
Awesome.
which is family.
Awesome.
And Christine too.
And we're going to get to her in a moment.
She's probably one of the most warm, loving human beings you could ever meet.
She is.
And
That's
she's
great.
funny.
Yes.
She's got a good sense of
She
humor.
does.
Yeah, which is great.
All right.
And I think to be in this business, you also have to have a sense of humor.
Yes.
Because when you're looking at some of the items that somebody feels is important, and you may not share that view, you have to still be like, okay,
Respectful.
respectful of it. And they
Yep.
are.
And in the middle of all that, she was coordinating. We sold the house. She was coordinating with the realtor and the buyer and walkthroughs, and she did all that for us in the middle of her staging the house.
Yeah.
Who is this woman?
Right. I couldn't have asked for.
She wears a W.
The big W. No, that was great. So, and we're still filming, and I'm glad we are, because that was important that you mentioned that you still
Well,
call Danielle.
They came to our dad's funeral.
Yeah.
This is a company.
Yeah.
Just to show up that way, to show up for us, to be there. It gave such comfort because these were his friends. We didn't have our contemporaries there. This is for our father. And to have somebody who would hug me and love me there meant the world.
Yeah.
Because it's a very daunting task, because he really wasn't supposed to pass away.
Right. Exactly.
It was very, it was unexpected. At 94, as much unexpected as it could be.
Right.
But
Theirs was probably the longest staging we had to do for a home.
Really?
It took us about 5 weeks, was it, in total? About 5 weeks
Wow.
Yeah.
from start to finish. I mean, there was troves and troves of stuff that we went through and organized, and
And you're spending a lot of time with them, and you're also seeing all these personal
Absolutely.
artifacts.
Absolutely.
And you get to know someone really, really well.
You do.
When you just
Right.
don't meet them, but you meet or see what their parents actually collected and saved and felt was important, because we're all here for a short while, and those memories will always stay with you. Even though you may not see them that often, now they're in memory care, and when memory care, it's the worst thing, because now they lose memories of you when you were a child, or Joe, you
Yes.
when you were a child. And, you want to cherish those memories. And because you still have them, and because you've had this experience with Blue Moon, it's a positive thing on something that might be a little bit sad, or obviously a lot sad. Okay.
it was very painful. but they made it as easy as they possibly could. And they were very good. Even during that 5 weeks, we kept making trips there. And his brother came from Tennessee once, and his sister, and gave us the space to be able to clean more stuff out and go through it and say, do you want this? Do you not? You know, we had to really pull some information out of family members of, do you want these things?
Right.
Because we have to make a decision. And yes, some of it we really did want, but we're all adults and don't have space for it anymore. Or we also wanted to get them the best financial outcome that we possibly could so that they could live there for as long as they need to.
Yep. And that's an important component to the
Right.
financial.
And Kevin's not here, but I do want to give a plug to Kevin because my father-in-law had a van that meant the world to him. His vehicles were very important. And he spent 2 days driving everywhere to find where to get the best price to sell this van. Because it went up for sale on the estate sale, but it didn't sell.
Right.
Or it got very, very
much was it?
lowballed.
Do you remember?
16?
Okay.
15 or 16,000.
15 or 16,000, yeah.
Okay. And
yeah.
so then Kevin drove to different places where you can get the best buck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then took Joe the day of the sale while I don't know what we did, but we did something that day.
Yeah.
I think Christine and I spent that day together.
Yeah.
They actually brought 2 people in after the sale who said, wait a minute, I'm still interested in the Hummels or something else. They knew them. And would I be there with Christine to do this? And I said, of course.
Yeah.
And they went and did the car. And
That's
so
awesome.
they did things afterwards that they didn't have to do.
Right.
In fact, we took a bunch of their items that didn't
Yes.
sell at their estate sale that we felt had value to them still. Joe and Susan allowed us to take those items that we then incorporated into other estate sales since theirs
Okay.
to continue to try to sell them. And I was happy to give them, just this morning, I gave them,
check.
we sold the last of their items that we had at a sale that we had back in January. And I was able to give them another thank you check today for
Nice.
everything. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
interesting. That's like something you haven't talked about yet, but we'll talk more on the next chapter
Okay.
in regards to that. But great. Thanks, folks. And I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you coming here today. All
Of
right.
course, our pleasure.